You love to write, you want to self-publish a book this year, but you have a zero clue on what to write about, what to publish. Well, this video is for you. I'm going to be sharing with you 10 ways that you can spark some ideas and get the creativity going. Without further ado, let's begin. Number one, go outside. Get yourself outside. Start walking on the grass. Breathe in some fresh air. Move your body. Stretching, I have found, can be so calming, allowing me to just focus on every single aspect of my body. If you're a mom and you have children at home and you're at home all the time with your kids, you know that, you can get really stressed and occupied with 10,000 different things that you have to do, right? So going outside, taking a moment to just go out there, maybe just do a cartwheel, do some turns. My daughter is a dancer, so we dance, we put some music on. You'd be surprised how calming and how inspiring that can be, because now when you come out inside and you're in front of a computer, you come with it with fresh new eyes. You will be surprised the ideas that might come up. Number two, journaling. Journaling is such a great exercise to get everything that's in here onto a page. But when you couple it and you add the scrapbooking element, now you're getting creative. Now you're trying to create different things, different maybe borders. You're adding, maybe from going outside, you saw a flower or something, or you picked it out and you want to go ahead and add it to that journaling session. And you just start coming up with just a visual representation of what you might be feeling at the moment, which can spark up some ideas. That leads me to idea number three of what you can do to spark up some ideas is I challenge you to create a visual inspiration board. The cool thing is that you can use Canva to get this done, and you can use their whiteboards feature. They have an option for whiteboards where you can just start putting elements together, maybe throwing in some words like believe or dreamy, or just different types of words, that anything that comes up, anything that you love, anything that at that particular time is calling out to you. It could be music notes, it could be scenery, it could be flowers, it could be some botanicals. I mean, anything that comes to your mind, just allow yourself to just dump it on this visual board, but make sure that the goal is for this board to inspire you. It's not like journaling where you're just dumping thoughts, but rather you want to create this visual representation of things that inspire you, like believing, maybe faith. For me, it's looking at plants. I don't know what it is about plants or being around flowers that it just makes me feel new. It makes me feel at peace. So think about those things that really inspire you, maybe on a day-to-day basis, or just different things that when you look at them, it makes you feel like it pumps you with this like encouragement, this surge of encouragement. This leads me to idea number 4 of how you can spark some ideas on what to write, which is painting. Painting, like the visual inspiration board, is similar to that, but when you're actually the act of actually painting, I actually painted a mural that I'm going to go ahead and show you. I have a mural in my house. Well, I have several murals in my home, and the moments, and I have to be honest, the moments that I painted those murals were moments where I was experiencing the most sadness and feelings of like loneliness. It just made me feel whole. Like it was like, I know I had to finish this. It was very purposeful oriented too. It gave me a purpose. Like I had this vision, I drew out what I wanted the wall to look like, and then I knew I had to execute it. But when you're painting something, or whether it's a picture, whatever it is that you're painting, you know that there's a beginning and an end, but throughout that is a journey. And it's much similar to, it's like a parallel to life, where there's going to be moments where you're going to have difficulty and challenges and struggles. And with painting, I experienced a lot of struggles when, trying to make sure, certain lines were really painted to perfection. And because I wasn't using stencils, I was just going off whatever it is that I felt. I wanted the murals to look like. I'm not a painter by any means, but just making sure that I did things correctly. And there were moments where I would put on like a podcast or maybe like a song, and it felt this sense of connection to, to God. I'm Christian, so for me it was just a moment for me to just be with God and just be in his presence and just be. No prayer, no asking, no nothing, just being in his presence and just not thinking so much, not thinking about what am I going to do, what am I going to cook, what am I going to do next, what am I going to teach the kids. It's just a great experience. So paint, go buy a canvas and go buy some acrylic or the Posca markers, which I love, and create something. Idea number 5. One of the things that I love to do, what I always tell my kids, this is my Disney World, which is Barnes and Nobles. I love to go to even to small bookstores. I love bookstores. I just love going through, even I am not the type of person to read a lot of novels. I have recently been reading novels, which is great. But I'm not the type of person to read novels. But even so, going to a bookstore, seeing different like fiction novels and reading through them, and fantasy. I'm not into fantasy, but going through those aisles and looking at these fantasy books, graphic novels, it just makes me feel like I'm out of my zone. So it does spark up some ideas sometimes where I'm like, wait a second, what if I can use this same concept or this same, book concept, but in the form of maybe like a poetry book? Or when I've had clients in the past and I'm like, okay, I have a zero clue how I'm going to start this chapter, or I was out of ideas. I would go to a bookstore, go to a bookstore near you, and just start flipping through the introductions. Go to the back of the book and read the last chapter. Number 6, start dream journaling. I don't know about you, but I tend to have a lot of weird dreams. And for the most part, I forget a lot of what I dream about. And for me, it's like, okay, what are dreams? It's like a string of different weird and strange events, things like random things happening. It's like a story. They're like stories, these dreams. And most of the time, like if I don't write it down or if I don't make it a habit to write these down, I forget. I'm going to forget. But the cool thing about dreams is that you can get many ideas from your dreams. Think about it. All the strange things that happen, the strange places, the buildings. I know that I've run away from buildings. I've run into buildings. I've been in staircases. So writing out your dreams, since they're not thought out, it's not like something that you sit there and you daydream and you know exactly what you want to daydream about. It's kind of like you're picking at things, right? When you daydream. Dreams are the complete opposite. And I don't think a lot of people realize how powerful our dreams can be in creating maybe the next book idea. Number 7, I don't know about you, but I enjoy cooking. And not just cooking new recipes. Just knowing, having all the ingredients and okay, I have to follow this, and knowing what the final result is going to taste like is just that whole process is so exciting. It's new. It's something new. And I feel that adding that new element of just being in the kitchen, not only can you share that moment with someone that you love, maybe your kids, your husband, your spouse, your partner, but it allows you to add something new to, the day-to-day. We go our days, at least for me, my days, well, they don't look exactly the same, but for the most part, I do the same things over and over again. So adding that new recipe is going to throw you off and make you feel like, okay, this is something that I'm looking forward to. Maybe the recipe in that, and when you do it alone, for me, every time I cook and I do it alone, I'm in my head, but at the same time, because I have to be so diligent, to my recipe, like, okay, what is this saying? The smells, like knowing the aromas of, whether there is thyme or like rosemary, it just makes me feel different things. So what I did one time was that I did like a pot roast, but it was a new pot roast recipe that I wanted to try. And just smelling those aromas, like the aroma of the thyme with the rosemary and having to do the actual gravy and just being in that process really made me think about my childhood, and how God really is transformed me and my old life. I don't know if it sounds weird, but it was just this strange aroma of, toxicity and a lot of toxic patterns from my father. And it's just to now, like, God has transformed my life, and the aroma, it's just so sweet, so peaceful. It provokes a lot of comfort, and it's just, I don't know, but just cooking that new recipe got me thinking about my life. It's like, wow, you can derive so much from cooking a new recipe. Number 8, I love to listen to music. So one of the things that I like to do is I just like to put a song on and then just start writing. And I have tried this many times and it has worked, where I will put on some music, I grab a sheet of paper, and I write 10 different potential book titles. It doesn't have to make sense. It could be, you could put the word patience, lingering. It could be something like patient with yourself, or living mindfully. Just write words that come to you, and just make sure you're creating maybe like 10, and they don't have to make sense. They don't have to make sense. You don't have to think about it so hard. Just write 10 at least. I would do more, but just write 10. And then once you're done, check it out. Like, see what came up with, because you might see a few words and be like, wait, this word with this word, like, this will make sense. Like, maybe would be, a good idea for a book. Maybe you can, from that simple exercise of writing book titles, you can drive out maybe one solid idea on how you can solve a certain thing, which can turn into a book. Number 9, read the opposite of what you usually read. For example, I love to read nonfiction books, self-help, Christian books, spirituality. I love to read, what do you call that? Oh my God, there's a word for it. Mindfulness and parenting. So all that good nonfiction stuff, right? But lately I've been reading an author. I've been reading her work. Oh my God, I love her books. Her name is Frida McFadden. Her Housemaid series is like amazing. If you haven't read it, you have to read it. I love reading like the thrillers and the mystery thrillers, and it's relatively new to me, because I have read some in the past, but it hasn't been this consistent, and I just bought another book. So just reading something that is the complete opposite of what you're used to, again, adding that like different, like that new thing to your day-to-day or weekly happenings. I mean, it's so helpful, because it can spark a new idea, and maybe it will make you think about something you never thought of. If you are a nonfiction aspiring self-published, let me say that again. If you're an aspiring author and you want to self-publish your book, and you are mainly focused on writing nonfiction, self-help books and all that good stuff, maybe try reading a romance novel. Maybe that will get you thinking about something in particular that can turn into a book that you may want to write. Number 10, like I've said in many of my videos, when you write a book, especially a nonfiction book, and let's say it's your first book, you want to focus, depending on your goal. If your goal is to just experiment, I say go for it, do it. And you can write about anything, just to get the hang of the self-publishing process. You know, the designing the book, writing each chapter, editing it, formatting it, and uploading it in whichever self-publishing platform you want to publish it in. But if you want to go ahead and maybe try, I don't want to say like make money, because I mean, there's a lot that goes into making money from a book. But if you want to try and attempt to publish in a what do you call that? In a niche that can potentially earn you money on a month-to-month basis, I would recommend you to think about problems. What problems can you solve? But wait, I want you to dig deeper. Look around you to the people that you already know, friends, family. You don't have to talk to them, but just think about the people that you know, the closest people to you, and you write down, don't write their name, but write down what problems are they struggling with? What are they going through? What are the different difficulties and challenges that they're facing? Because guess what? They're not the only ones facing those problems. And then right beside the problem, write the types of solutions that you would recommend, or maybe think about the conversations that you've already had and the advice that you've given people and how maybe it's worked. Maybe you have helped a lot of people. So think about the problem, think about the solution, and that could be your next book. A problem that is so close to you, you had no idea that you could have written a book about, but most importantly, a book on a solution, focusing on the solution for that pain point. I hope that these ideas were helpful. I hope that in you doing these things and these exercises, that it allows you to find that one book concept that you grab and run with and just get it done. It's 2025 and it's a wonderful time to self-publish a book, but also I want you to think, also for those who overthink things, I want you to know that you don't have to overthink everything and everything has to be perfect. The goal is to just get it done so that you can learn. In the beginning, I know that everybody wants to make money with books and earning $10,000 every month, but I feel that if you are a passionate writer and you are passionate about writing, you're passionate about your craft, then it becomes much more than just earning and making money. It becomes, okay, how can I impact people? Or how can I learn? Maybe this one book is not going to be the bestseller, but it's going to be one step closer to that actual book that you may want to write later on in the future. Maybe the series that you want to create. My hope is that in you watching these videos about self-publishing, that you find ways that you can express yourself, that you can help people, that you can write and publish books that are purposeful. So I hope this video was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.